Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Schwa Mill, where every single Saturday at this time we help you to craft your accent to sound more natural in American English. My name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath, which is one of the four key ingredients to getting a natural sound in American English. Pronunciation, that paired with placement, pitch, and trying to weaken your consonant sounds, trying to strengthen your vowel sounds. And those are all things that we're going to be talking about today. What we're going to do, as we do every single Saturday at this time, is we take a look at pronunciation files that you send us. And I just want to walk you through that process in case you want me to look at your pronunciation. So let's kind of just show you what are the steps for this. I'm going to share my screen with you. It'll appear in a second. All right. So this is our Google Doc. On our Google Doc, you're going to see some people have already sent us files. Very, very exciting. If you want to do that, what you need to do is you need to go to this link. I'll put it in the chat box, but you can also find it in the video description. Definitely take a look at it there in case you want me to look at your file. So there it is. You go there. It's going to direct you at the top to a site that says directions. Choose one of the options below. Visit Vocaroo.com. What is this Vocaroo.com? Well, it looks like this. You're going to see a big red record button. You're going to press that. It's going to start recording. When you're done, you press that again. You click save and share. Give it a second. Okay, you click save and share. It's going to give you this link. If you copy that link and then you paste it, as soon as I found my mouse, you paste it into Google Doc. And that's it. Those are all the steps you need to do for us to be able to hear and listen to your file. Now, I do want to just make a quick note that if you like the sorts of feedback that we give today, you may also be interested in knowing that we have a group on Telegram that kind of does the same thing. Usually we're looking at like short phrases, short sentences, short words. People send in their files and I give corrections, but instead of just doing it on Saturday, we do it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We do it every single day of the week. So if you're trying to get some pronunciation practice every single day of the week, you can go to fluentamerican.com. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Let's see who's here. We got all kinds of people. Hello, hello, hello to everybody showing up. We see Edward showing up. Aisha sent us a message from the past. That's cool. Emmanuel is here. Shok is here. And are you here? Let us know. This is your first time, your 100th time, your 1000th time. We haven't hit 1,000 episodes, but we've hit a lot. I don't know how many episodes we've done. Maybe like 100. I don't know. Anyways, we're still rocking. We're still rocking. Other things or questions? I can't think of any. If you have a question, something comes up, you want to ask me something, what you can do is you can put it into the chat box. I'm constantly checking it so I can try my best to help you out. But I think that kind of wraps up all the things I need to say, which means that we can jump right into the feedback portion. So let us begin taking a look at pronunciation files that you have sent us. Oh, let me add myself there, right? Again, it's not little, it's more little.
The G host was class.
Are you feeling that here, or here? All right, my headphones are on. So I'm good to go. Are you good to go? If you're good to go, say yes in the chat. And let us take a look at our first file. Sharing everything, sharing my screen, sharing my sound. We got what we got. All right, I'm going to search for our first file. I'm just going to pick one at random. Let's see what we have here.
First of all, I don't know if you know this, but Pele is super difficult. Professionals make it look easy, but it takes years and years of training to get good.
Okay. Thanks again, Taisha, for sending us this file. We appreciate you. Here's our text. This is the right one. All right, let's take a listen again.
First of all, I don't know if you know this, but Pele is super difficult. Professionals make it look easy, but it takes years and years of training to get good.
Okay. Some things I really like. I like you're really playing around with pitch here. You're trying to take things high, you're trying to take things low. These are all very important things for getting a natural sound. Because I like those pitch shifts you're doing. There are a couple areas I do want to target.
First of all,
Start with first, even just the word first. So first, I feel like I'm getting almost a rolled out like first of all, or something like that.
first of all,
First of all, um, but it's again, our goal is a little bit more like a first of all. So what that kind of tells me, if we're getting that sort of rolling that soon, that sort of tells me that we're probably using a pretty high placement. You know, we're probably located somewhere around here, maybe even towards our lips. When in reality, again, we want to be projecting from a low position, trying to engage our diaphragm a little bit more. So instead of first, more fur, can you just do like fur first? Just like do that quick progression. Fur first, fur first, fur first. Just try to open that up a little bit. I think that's going to be the very first thing I'm going to say. First of all.
first of all,
First of all, the other thing I would say is that it sounds like you're stressing all. Like, first of all, a lot of times when you hear this phrase, and I would go to there's a website called youglish.com where you can type in a phrase and then you can hear native speakers saying it. I think a lot of times the stress will actually be on all. I don't think it's actually going to be on first. So, first of all, or first of all, first of all, first of all, like I feel like that would be a more common intonation pattern here. Like, first of all, and then maybe a slight rising intonation on all, like, first of all, and then we have this. I don't know if you know this, but
fall. I don't know if you know this.
you don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this. So you have very heavy stress on no.
Fall. I don't know if you know this.
I don't know if you. So if you, I think this sounds okay with the stress on no. I don't have an issue with that, but I do think it's very firm. It's like I don't know if you know this. So it's kind of adding like some attitude, like we're a little bit like angry, like we're mad. And if you want it to be a little like gentler, like I don't know if you know this. So maybe just like I said, know this more, know this, like a slight rising intonation might make that sound just a little warmer. But it depends on context, always depends on context.
I don't know if you know this.
The other thing I was going to say is that part there for the I don't know sounds a little tight. Sounds a little tight. We're blocking a lot of breath. Like I don't
I
know.
don't know if you know this.
I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this.
I don't know if you know.
I don't know. I don't know. Can you say I don't like I don't. Can you say like don't like oh no don't. I don't know if you know this. I don't know. How are you saying your O sound? Because if you're saying oh, it's just a little high placement, maybe a little bit closed off, a little bit more breath coming through because it just feels a little tight, a little high.
I don't know if you know this, but belly is super difficult.
Yeah, so the big thing is just placement. Like, and this ties into the don't know this part, but it just really sounds like our placement's really high. We're projecting from a very high position versus I'm projecting from lower positions. It's almost like we're talking like from up here, where it's kind of like top of the throat, back of the mouth, versus I'm talking much lower. I'm using my diaphragm, projecting more from like my throat chest area, and I think that's really going to give you a little bit more of a natural projection. Like, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this. Can you hear that difference there? The big difference there is just the placement. So watching out a little bit for that, because I think that will have an impact. Other things that are jumping out.
But belly is super difficult.
Other things too is the vowel sounds are kind of we're kind of cutting the breath. I'll give you a quick example. Listen to how you say ballet.
Belly is super difficult. I don't know if you know this, but belly is. If you know this, but belly is.
You can hear that on ballet. Do you hear how I'm saying ballet? You can hear that A sound just kind of, just lots of breath moving through. Ballet is, ballet is, ballet is. But what I'm hearing here is more ballet is, ballet is, ballet. And then we just kind of stop the breath. It's like a faucet just shuts. And we want that to keep flowing. American English is all about breath and airflow.
But ballet is super.
Ballet is, ballet is, ballet is, ballet is.
Belly is super difficult.
I watch out for difficult too. You want to go is super difficult. So you're stressing difficult, cool. 3 steps down. It's like difficult, difficult. So difficult, 3 syllables, stress on diff. You want to take your last syllable lower in pitch to get a little more natural. So
Or difficult.
it's like difficult, difficult, cult. It's like all difficult, all difficult. A little more breath also on that alt sound. Keep moving.
Difficult. Professionals make it look easy.
2 things. Look. I feel like I'm hearing lock. Really high placement again and not a lot of breath. So we're going to lower the placement and add breath, right? So more look. Here a difference. Can you do like look? Let's all do that together. Come on, guys. Let's do an exercise together. Come on. It's like look. If you find you're doing look or like things like that, we're really tight, really high. We want to send that down. Just open it up a little bit. American English is really chill. We just want to breathe. That's all we want to do.
Professionals make it look easy.
Yeah, professionals make it look easy versus professionals make it look easy.
Professionals make it look easy. Professionals make.
We're professionals, so we have a consonant cluster at the end. So we're ending with an ulls sound. Ulls, professionals. Okay. I think we're this may be a difficult consonant cluster for some people. Maybe you want to add a vowel between that ul sound and that z sound, but you just want to go right from that ul to that z. So it's ulls. So it's not ulis, it's just ulls. Professionals.
Professionals make.
Do that. Professionals versus professionals make it. So let's watch it now again for that dark L. This is very similar. Difficult. Professionals. It's the same idea. Difficult. Professionals. Very similar ideas there. Keep moving.
It look easy, but it takes.
I do like your intonation on easy. Easy. Make it look easy. Good.
Years and years of training to get good.
I want to hear years and years again.
It takes years and years of training to.
We're really tensing up again and closing on that sounds like yours and yours versus years and years. So we need more of that ear.
Years and years of training takes years and years of.
Yours and yours versus years and years. Okay, so like, can you do this progression with me? So ear, years, ear, years. Let's do that a couple times. Ear, years, ear, years, ear, years. One of the things I hope you're noticing is that the most important part of this is really that E sound before the R. It's not really about the R sound. It's not really about the Z sound at the end. It's really about the E. It's like E, ear, ear. Keep the R very light. It's not E, ear. No, we're closing off too much. It's about the E sound. E, ears, Just kind of bounce between those. And then years and years. All right, that is a ton of information there. Okay. So if you have any questions for me about anything I've said there, whether you're Aisha or someone else, let me know. But thank you so much for sending us your file. You opened us up. Now, I do want to say that I have mentioned a lot of things. I've mentioned a lot about placement. I've mentioned a lot about breath. And we even talked about pitch a little bit. And you might be like, it's kind of a sad story. You might be like, I don't know what that means. What's placement? What's pitch? I am breathing. What is breath? I'm alive, Jeff. I'm watching you. How can I not be using breath? I get it. So we have a video course on our website called 4-Step American Accent. It's completely free. And it introduces all of those key concepts. So these are new things for you. You've never heard of placement. You've never heard of pitch. You've never heard of breath. And you've never heard of weakening your consonant sounds. But you studied pronunciation before. Well, this is the big thing that I know a lot of other pronunciation teachers are very, very focused on, oh, you need to do this with your lips. You need to do this with your tongue, open your mouth like this. I know a lot of teachers are doing that. But the problem is that we're missing out the most important parts. In order to talk, there's so much happening from this point down that a lot of teachers just aren't even talking about. We're the only channel that's really focused on those key concepts of getting the sound good through here. So that way, by the time the sound is here, this stuff doesn't really matter. Because the reality is, I can talk like this with really exaggerated mouth movements Or I can talk like this and barely move my lips at all, and both of them are clear and understandable. Right? So there's obviously more happening than just mouth position. To find out more about how to get 4-Step American Accent, our free video course, and other things that we have, take a look at
Visit
this.
fluentamerican.com for all of our pronunciation services, including memberships, including our daily Telegram program, where you send in files every day and get corrections from us, Mission English, where we meet twice a day in live stream classes, and also our paid video courses so you can start learning right away.
See it? It was that free one right at the end. Free one right at the end. You can just go to, I did it right, fluentamerican.com. Let's take a look at our next file. Just want to double check. Is this the one we just did? Nope. We have a new one. All right. Let me share my screen. And in case you're just joining us, hi. My name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. We're taking a look at pronunciation files you send us. You can do that by looking at the video description or going to this link right here. We would love to hear from you. Even if you're watching us from the future, hi, from the past. This is old Jeff talking to you. You can go to this link and send us your audio file right now. Just make a note that says, hey, this is for the next stream, and I'll be able to see it. Edward is making the really important notes. Look at this. Breath control is almost always ignored in most English courses. It's true. People just aren't talking about breath, even though it's one of the biggest reasons why American English sounds different than your first language. And no one talks about it. It's very frustrating. But anyways, we move on. Let's listen. We'll see what file we have here.
One of my old friends is actually getting divorced. So he called me just asking for advice. And I said, look, man, don't get involved in any arguments or any fighting because, these things can be very ugly. So you just move on.
Okay. This is a true story. I'm sorry to hear that for your friend. But that's good they have someone to support them like you, being a good friend. All right, let's take a look at the file again.
One of my old friends is actually getting divorced.
One of my old friends is actually getting divorced. One of my old friends is actually getting divorced.
One of my old friends is actually getting divorced.
Actually getting divorced. A lot of stresses.
One of my old friends is actually getting divorced.
Actually getting divorced. One of my old friends is actually getting divorced. I probably would have stressed. It sounds like you're kind of stressing actually. That kind of sounds like you're stressing getting, but I probably would stress divorced. Like one of my old friends is actually getting divorced. One of my old friends is actually getting divorced. That's how I would have done that. Personally.
One of my old friends is actually getting divorced.
Actually getting divorced, because right now you have that as your weakest word, but I would probably have that as my stress. Is actually getting divorced. But it all depends on context. Maybe you're in a conversation and everyone's already talking about divorce, so it can't work. Moving on though.
One of my old friends is actually getting divorced.
You could play around the pitch levels more. One of the things we discuss a lot with pitches is that when you move from thought group to thought group, you want to move around the pitches a little bit. And I think we're kind of stuck on the same pitch level.
One of my old friends is actually getting divorced.
One of my old friends is actually getting divorced. Maybe let's take the is actually getting divorced part. Let's just move it down in pitch a little bit. One of my old friends is actually getting divorced. One of my old friends, you hear how that whole pitch registers just a little higher. One of my old friends, and then we go down, is actually getting divorced. And then that second part's a little lower. One of my old friends is actually getting divorced. So again, just like shifting it down a little bit, I think would be very, very helpful. Moving on. What else we got here?
Divorce. So he called me So he called me
So I like the idea of this. So you have some reductions going on. You're really reducing, especially other. Which cool. I'm all about reductions. That's what's up. That's good.
So he called me
But the thing is that I think maybe we're reducing a little bit too much. I need the clear. I need the syllables to be just slightly clear, especially the R sound on other. Like he called me the other day. He called me the other day.
So he called me
I feel like I'm just saying other day versus other day. I just try to make the R a little bit more present.
So he called me So he called me
I also probably wouldn't stress other day. I probably would just stress called. So he called me the other day. So he called me the other day. So he called me. I would just stress call, and that means that if I'm just stressing call in that thought group, that means that every movement, is just going to work its way down. Called me the other day. So he called me the other day. So he called me the other day. So just lower pitches on the other day part. So he called me the other day, and again that R sound on other.
Just asking for just asking for advice. Just asking for advice. Told me just asking for advice.
No, just asking for advice. I like the pitch shift here.
Just asking for advice.
So now we shifted higher. So so he called me the other day. Just asking for advice. Cool. I like that pitch shift. Good stuff. Good.
And I said, look, man, don't get involved in it. And I said, look, man.
I think this is opportunity. So one of the key things with American English is contrast. I know we always talk about breath, but another important element is contrast. We want things to do different things as we go through the sentence. And another way you can add contrast besides pitch is by speed. It's like changing how fast or slowly you should say something.
And I said, look, man, don't get involved in any art there. Just asking for advice. And I said, look, man, don't get involved in it.
Look, man, so first of all, I probably would stress look, and I would drag it extra long. And I said, look, man. 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 So you can hear I'm faster on that. And I said, and then we slow down. Look, man. And I said, look, man. So it's just kind of playing around the speed.
Man, don't get involved in any arguments or any fighting. Man, don't get involved in any arguments or
don't get involved in any arguments. Or again, we're just a little flat in pitch.
Man, don't get involved in any arguments or.
And I said, look, man, don't get involved in any arguments or any fighting. Just like vary the pitches a little bit more. Don't get involved in any arguments or any fighting. Or don't get involved in any arguments or any fighting. Something like that. Like increase the pitch range, maybe break it into separate sections. So like separate thought groups. Don't get involved in any arguments, thought group, or any fighting. Second thought group, and then shifting the pitch level for those.
Man, don't get involved in any arguments or any fighting. Man, don't get involved in any argument. Man, don't get involved in any arguments. Man, don't get involved in any arguments or.
Another little thing too, I do think on involved, you could open up your vowel. It's getting a little bit lost. Involved. Don't get involved in volve, all volve.
And I said, look, man, don't get involved in any argument.
Because it's just so fast. Don't get involved in any. Don't get involved in any versus don't get involved in any. Don't get involved in any. Remember, the vowels are always going to be the central part of a word, not the consonant sound. So I'll just try to expand on that a little bit. I think that would be very helpful.
Don't get involved in any arguments or any fighting. Because, this thing.
Another thing, too, when you're going from one thought group to the next. So I don't think this is a mistake.
Or any fighting. Because
you can hear that breath.
Or any fighting. Because, or any fighting. Or any fighting. Because
it just feels kind of like an awkward place for a breath. I would have kept going. So instead of breathing, what I would have done, I would have extended fighting. Or any fighting, because I would have linked it with the next thought group. Fighting. So I'm dragging out fighting a little bit, and then I'm adding the first word of my next thought group.
Or any fighting. Because, these things can be very ugly. So you just move on.
Yeah, and I think those are kind of my main thoughts there. I thought the last of that was okay.
Fighting. Because, these things can be very ugly. So you just move on.
Yep. And I like that pitch shift you have at the end. These things could be very ugly, low pitch. So you just move on and then you go higher. Cool. So I like the pitch contrast there. All right. I'm going to move on to our next file. Sycamore, if anything there is not clear, you can be sure to let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for sending your file. Appreciate you. All right, we have a file from file.
The winner, I wish they dumped the bodies inside.
Okay. We got a long one here. I don't know if we'll be able to get through all of this. This is a really long file, like 30 some seconds. So we'll just highlight some parts for this next one. Wait, that's not the... Where did text go? Let me see. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I'll send you the text for our next file. Okay. And again, in case you're just joining us, hi, good to see you. My name's Jeff. We're looking at pronunciation files that you send to us, and then we're giving you some suggestions for how they can sound more natural in American English. That's the name of the game. You see? What's the name of the game? She. Let's see if we can find that file again.
If you don't
Not that one. It's this one.
The winner, I wish they dumped the bodies inside. Yeah. Drama 2, call the blood banks. We need evidence of non-negative here. Elevation ban now. Of 2 large 4 IVs. Okay, I got that. Get his clothes off. Hurry. Grab that. Abdomen, chest, neck, legs. Pulse 116, Freddy. Increase breath sounds.
Okay, so we got an ER transcript. Interesting. I don't know if we've had one in Schwa Mill before. Cool. So I'm just going to kind of play through this and identify parts that I think we're missing a little bit of clarity, and then talk about some solutions for how they could have sounded a little bit more clear. Okay. Let's hope that'll be helpful. So let's begin.
The winner, I wish they dumped the bodies inside.
Okay, this part.
The winner, I wish they dumped the bodies inside.
Okay, so one of the things here is that this is using a pattern kind of like da 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 da. And in general, that's a little bit melodic for English, or at least not like a pattern that English is going to use as often. The winner, I wish they dumped the bodies inside.
The winner, I wish they dumped the bodies inside.
We also added a word like I wish that they. I think you're adding a word. The winner, I wish they dumped the bodies. It's hard because I also don't know if you're shadowing. So if you're shadowing, take everything I say with a grain of salt. But assuming that you're not,
the winner, I wish they dumped the bodies inside.
I think if we had used greater pitch shifts across thought groups, that would have been very helpful here. Like the winner. Also, maybe some some longer thought groups. Right now, it's very short. Like I wish they dumped the bodies inside. If we joined the thought groups together, that would help smooth things out as well. Like I wish they dumped the bodies inside. The winner, I wish they dumped the bodies inside. I feel like wish would be a more expected stress as well. Like I wish they dumped the bodies inside. Something like that I think would be very helpful in terms of the rhythm here.
They dumped the bodies inside. Yeah. Trauma 2, call the blood banks. We need.
Okay, trauma 2. I really like your breath. Very open.
Trauma 2, call.
Good. Trauma 2. You're also dragging out 2. I like that. So again, playing some contrast with length. That's great.
Call the blood banks. We need.
Call the blood. I thought blood could probably be drawn out a little bit, add a little bit more breath.
Trauma 2, call the blood banks. We need evidence of non-negative here.
Okay, we got a little bit jumbled.
Blood banks. We need evidence of non-negative here.
This is a place where we get really tight. We're losing some of that breath on the vowel sound, so this is becoming a little harder to understand. We're not giving the vowels enough time to breathe.
Blood banks. We need evidence of non-negative here.
We need it's just really tight. We need A units. So like just what I would do is I would take the section here down to O negative. Okay. So from 8 down to negative. Just do the vowel sounds like A, U, O, A, U, O, and then you can add the consonants back in. So A, U, O, A units of O negative, A, U, O negative, A units of A, O negative, A units of O negative. We just need those vowels to get more room to breathe because right now it's just really tight and blocked off. The consonant sounds are really shining, but we want the vowels to do that.
All the blood banks. We need evidence of non-negative here. Elevation ban now.
That part if we didn't have the script, that part would have been very difficult for me with the page on Benton. I'm guessing Benton's the patient.
Here, elevation ban now. Here, elevation ban now.
again, the vowels just aren't getting enough space. And then now.
Here, television Ben now.
New page, Benton now versus the vowels. So again, very similar idea. Let's just do the vowels on that part, and then we'll do the words like I, E, A, I, E, A, I need a page on Benton. I, E, A, I need a page on Benton. I need a page on Benton. We need to get those vowels longer.
Television Ben now. Of 2 large 4 IVs. Okay, I got that.
So 4 IVs, okay, I got that.
Large 4 IVs. Okay, I got that.
Very flat. The 2 large 4 IVs, okay, I got that. Um, 2 large 4 IVs. Like maybe breaking into 2 thought groups there. 2 large thought group, 4 IVs, new thought group, maybe going higher. 2 large 4 IVs. Next thought group, okay. And then maybe raise the pitch on your last thought group. I got that. 2 large 4 IVs. Okay, I got that. I went higher in pitch. Or you can say, okay, I got that. Lower in pitch. We just need more contrast because right now the thought groups are really blending together. The vowels aren't getting enough space to breathe, so it's making it a little. You're making your listener work a little bit here.
IVs. Okay, I got that. So get his clothes off. Hurry, grab that. Abdomen, chest, neck. Hurry, grab that. Abdomen, chest, neck. So get his clothes off.
Okay.
Hurry, grab that.
Okay, so the text is different, right? So I feel like I'm hearing hurry, grab that, hurry, grab that. That's what I'm hearing there.
Abdomen, chest, neck, legs. Pulse 116, 16, Freddy.
16, I didn't. There's something around that I didn't hear.
Legs. Pulse 116, 16, Freddy.
116. We're reducing. So when you said 116, you're reducing the part that's the most important. It's the teen.
Legs. Pulse 116, 16, Freddy.
You're saying 116 versus 116. 116. 116. You need that E sound on teen to really show. Right now, it's a little bit too soft.
116, 16, Freddy. Increase breath sounds. The wind.
Okay, so those are kind of my big things there. There's just some sections here that would be a little bit difficult for a listener to understand without the transcript. I'll be honest. So by extending your vowel sounds and playing around with pitch a little bit more, I think those are going to be opportunities to help your listener to hear, where some words are ending or some words are starting, and add some clarity. Ashok, if anything I said there is not clear, be sure to let me know. Thank you for sending your file. We greatly appreciate you as always. I see Emmanuel here. Sorry, totally pressed the wrong button. Emmanuel says Benton is tough to pronounce with the held T before the N. Yes, it can be a little hard. It's like what Emmanuel is referring to is when you have a T sound that comes before an N, a lot of times that T is not pronounced, or at least you don't hear the breath on it. So it's not t. Instead, you just kind of hold it. You don't release that breath. So like instead of saying Benton, it becomes Benton, Benton, Benton. Okay. You see this in words like mountain or cotton or eaten or forgotten or written. It's more in or in or anin or things like that. Okay. It's just more of a held T sound. Common enough in English, probably one of the trickier sounds in pronunciation as well. Let's take your time with those. Let's move on to our next file here. I did not share my sound. I don't want to get yelled at. Emmanuel is going to be very, very upset with me if I don't have the audio. All right. Is this one we just heard?
Winner,
Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. This is the file I made, right? When you're hear that. Okay. We got 2 files left from our original group. 2 files left. 16. They're both 16. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Let's play this one.
If you don't know something like the back of your hand,
If you don't know something like the back of your hand,
especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Okay, look at Emmanuel. He's in our shadowing video. So in case you don't know, we have a channel just for shadowing. And Emmanuel's so smart. Look at that. Putting in the link. Oh, Emmanuel, I said I wouldn't cry today. Post the link. So this is actually from our latest shadowing video where we include pauses and things so you can get your audio. By the way, Emmanuel, if you're here, did you use a voice meter to record that? Let me know what the process was. But again, if you go to youtube.com/fluentamericanshadowing, like Emmanuel's kind enough to direct us to, you can get lots of shadowing videos, some more pronunciation practice for free. We love free things like these free accent reviews. Anyways, so Emmanuel's given us the original file so we can compare. Cool. And he used voice meter for that. Cool. So in case you're curious, you can use, there's an app called Voice Meter, which is a digital mixer. You don't have to know what that means. Basically, what it lets you do is let you record a microphone and your computer's audio together so you can put them on a single file so you can practice. That's really great. All right, so let's find which one was that? Was this one? This one. Thanks, Edward, as well, for the kind words. All you guys.
If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
Okay, so that's a native speaker talking. Okay.
If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
Okay, I need you to. Emmanuel says the audio came a bit low compared to the original. That's okay. It's loud enough to hear. I need you to pay attention to the difference between how he says the original speaker says something and hand.
If you don't know something.
If you don't know something, do you hear how he's saying something, that ing?
If you don't know something.
Something.
Like the back of your hand.
Hand. You can hear that little movement. Hand. So you get kind of like that fall rise a little bit, right? If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
If you don't know.
Just want to highlight one other thing before we look at your
If you
file.
don't know something like the back of your hand.
You can hear that the second thought group is just a little bit lower in pitch than the first part. If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
Know something like the back of your hand. If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
Okay, so yeah, it's just something in hand. Those are the words you want to pay attention to. So one thing is that his something is longer than yours. Yours is a little faster, and it's missing some of that inflection.
Something like the back.
You're saying something. You're almost using more rising intonation. Something.
If you don't know something like.
Something. If you don't know something.
You don't know something.
Something. But he has more movement.
If you don't know something.
Something. He also has greater pitch difference. The big difference here is that when he says something, you can hear that something, and then the thing is at a lower pitch than some. So just dropping it a little bit. Very helpful technique to add some contrast.
Something like the back of your hand.
If you don't know something like.
Because you're like something. Your pitches are very similar when you're saying some and thing, whereas his has just a little bit greater contrast.
Know something. If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
I think his hand's higher.
Know something like the back of your hand.
Back of your hand. You can hear how I go like hand and then like curls up, right? Hand. If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
If you don't know something like the back of your hand.
You're taking it lower. You're saying hand. He's saying hand, and you're saying hand. You hear that, like, just again, a little difference there in pitch.
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
A little choppier than the original.
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe.
Listen to that again.
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe.
Especially if it comes down to money. So he's actually pronouncing the T on two. Just so it comes down to money. Especially if it comes down to money.
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe.
To money.
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe.
Money. Like, especially if it comes down to money. especially if it comes down to money. It's like that, especially if it comes down, especially if it comes down.
Especially if it comes down to money.
So that part's really flowing, especially if it comes down. So that's the original speaker again. Like, especially if it comes down, especially if it comes down.
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe.
Okay. Your money is different than his. Listen to how he says to money.
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe.
Especially if it comes down to money, it's a heavier stress. Especially if it comes down to money.
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe.
I just feel like we're not really saying. You're just like, especially if it comes down to money. You're just kind of going, especially if it comes down to money. But he's saying, especially if it comes down to money. To money, it's just a little bit more emphasized. And then the last part.
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right? If it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't. Money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
He has more contrast and speed as well.
To money, maybe you shouldn't be.
Do you hear how slow he goes? Maybe you. So he's going slowing down.
To money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it.
You're just going, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it versus maybe you shouldn't be investing in it.
Money, maybe you shouldn't be investing. Money, maybe you shouldn't be in. Money, maybe you shouldn't be in.
Do that. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. So you hear that speed difference there. Maybe you shouldn't be investing in it.
Money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Yeah.
To money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
And then at the end, he also drags out a little bit, right? Maybe you shouldn't be investing.
Money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right? Maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
Especially if it comes down to money, maybe you shouldn't be investing in it, right?
You're also higher on right. You're saying right, but he's more right. So it's just a little bit lower in pitch. Okay. So those are the parts I would pay attention to. I'd pay attention to something. I'd pay attention to hand. I'd pay attention to money. And a little bit on that right. Okay. Those would be the parts I would target, Emmanuel. Let me know if you have questions on that. Good exercise. Good stuff. I thought you did a lot of it very similar. Those are just the parts I thought were a little different. Thank you for saying that. Audio file. I got one more original file. And then look at this, guys. Guys, look at this. Look what I found. Hey, let me make this bigger. This is our Google Doc where you can send in your own pronunciation file. There's 6 of you watching right now. Sometimes there's like 10, sometimes a little more. So if you want to send in your file, maybe you're watching us again in the future, you can. This Google Doc we use every single live stream. So if you're watching this in the future and you want to send us a pronunciation file, just like stick it like right here. Just say, hey, Jeff, use this next week. And I'll see that and I want to erase it. Okay. That's just a note. But let's look at our last original file and we'll take a look at whoever file is. The grass is green on the other side. Excited to hear that file. Let's listen to this one. Okay. Emmanuel also made the note. Great stuff. Thank you so much. Comparing it to the original side by side helped to notice the difference. Perfect. That's what we want. That's what we want. I want that.
If you don't know something.
Oh, I just did it twice. All right. Well, that's anticlimactic. All right. Wait a minute. No. I know Marco sent a file. Marcos is going to delete it. Did we already do Marcos's?
The people feel that the local government representatives have deserted them.
Okay, thanks to Marcos. Marcos getting political out here. He's like, oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh, Marcos. Oh man, so angry. So this. Oh, deserted.
The people feel that the local government representatives have deserted them.
This is okay. So first things first, I did not catch deserted the first time. I just have heard them. but then deserted them. Deserted, I think probably would get the heaviest stress in this entire sentence. This is a strong word. It's also a relatively unique word. It's not a word that you hear every single day. So I would stress that. I would give it some extra weight, make it stand out. Okay. So like have deserted
Have deserted them.
Deserted them, because it's kind of getting lost right now. Deserted them versus deserted them. So take the pitch higher. Have deserted.
Representatives have deserted them.
Have desert. It's like have desert. It's like the same pitch almost versus have deserted them. Go higher in pitch.
Have deserted them.
Have deserted them. Have deserted them. I'll just take the pitch a little higher. Local revs
Have deserted them.
Have deserted them. Also take lower pitch on them. Deserted them. Deserted them. More separation as well on the final syllable. So going higher in pitch on zer, lower pitch on them. To the beginning.
The people feel that the local government.
The people feel.
The people feel that the local.
Okay.
The people feel that the local government. The people feel that the people feel that the local government.
Local government.
The people feel that the local government feel that the local government feel that the local government.
Local. It feels like when we're saying local, our placement's a little high. It sounds good, but something just sounds a little bit slightly accented, and I think that I think it's because it's just the airflow gets a little bit cut off. That the local government representatives, local. Can you just say like local? If you're saying low versus low, here that difference is lower placement, more breath.
Feel that the local government feel that the local government represents.
Local government. Also a little bit more breath on that all sound. Local government.
Feel that the local government representatives have.
Local government representatives. Also just a local government representatives. It's a tricky thing. It kind of feels more like a compound noun to me. So I probably wouldn't stress representatives because that's kind of giving this a slightly awkward rhythm.
Feel that the local government representatives have deserted them.
Local. I personally would stress government. Local government representatives. The people feel that the local government representatives have deserted them. Besides that, I think the biggest thing that's going to really help this audio is just one, it feels like you're reading. It doesn't feel like you're talking. If you want this to feel more like talking, I think our thought groups need to be more clearly demonstrated through the use of pitches.
The people feel that the local government representatives have deserted them.
So you basically have like 3 thought groups is what I'm sensing. The people feel, then local government representatives, then have deserted them. So those are what I detect as being your 3 major thought groups here. So every time we switch thought groups, again, change your pitch level. And it kind of all depends on what you want to emphasize the most. Like to me, that last part feels the strongest. So that part's probably gonna be a little higher. It's like the people feel that the local government representatives, if I'm using your stress on representatives, the people feel that the local government representatives have deserted them. The people feel that the local government representatives have deserted them. Something like that would add a lot more contrast. The people feel that the local government representatives have deserted them. So again, just like here, something like that, I think would be a little bit more contrast to what you're saying. The people feel that local government representatives have deserted them. Something like that. I think just playing around the pitch levels. Those are the main things. Short sentence. Thanks to Marcos for sending that. We appreciate you as always. We got questions. I can see them in the chat. Oh my gosh. Questions. What are you asking me? Let's see what questions we got. Edward asks, which term is more formal in this context, deserted or forsaken? Forsaken is always going to sound more formal. It's not a word you hear a lot. Unless you're talking about like God, why have you forsaken me, or something like that. It sounds almost biblical. Just not a very frequent word. Another question. Oh my gosh, they keep coming. Is abandoned also a synonym for deserted? Yeah, it's a synonym. I would say it's exactly the same, but very, very similar. I think in this context it could work as well. All right, guys. Just again to highlight some things, I have another audio file. But before we get to that, I just want to let you know that maybe you're enjoying this. You're like, hey, this is fun. This is kind of this Jeff guy. He's all right, right? Maybe. Anybody? Anyone? No? No? All right. Well, maybe in the off chance that you are enjoying this, but you're like, man, I want to get pronunciation practice every single day of the week. We have so many opportunities for that. So we have our YouTube videos. We have a group on Telegram, which the price has changed. Okay, it's no longer $5 a month. It's $12 a month. We have 8 spots left in that. 8 spots left in our Telegram group at $12 a month. It looks like this, where basically students send in their audio files every single day of the week. Imagine if we did the Schwa Mill every single day. So that's kind of what the Telegram group is. Every single day, I send in audio, I send in some words to say, and the members of the group, they send in their files and they get suggestions. And they can look at any previous challenge. We've got probably like 300-400 challenges, if not more, in there that you can respond to and get feedback from me and my assistant teacher, Lenora. Other things that we have too, we have Mission English. Mission English is our American English Accelerator program. We meet in a small group class online at all of these times. We're meeting twice a day, Monday through Friday, and then we're meeting on the weekends for some writing classes in case you're preparing for IELTS or business emails and things like that. Each of these times that you see on screen are for 30 minutes. So on Mondays, we meet at 1:30 p.m. New York time, and we also meet at 8 o'clock p.m. New York time. Tuesdays, we meet at 9:30 in the morning and also at 1:30 p.m. Wednesday, we meet at 9:30 in the morning and also 8 o'clock p.m. Thursdays, we have our kind of like just a light speaking class, office hours, ask questions, keep it friendly, just kind of chatting. And at 8 o'clock, we meet again. And then on Friday, we meet at 9:30 in the morning and then also at 1:30 p.m. And a lot of people, this is a small group class. Not everyone likes group classes. I get it. The nice thing about group classes is one, all these classes are saved, so you can watch them again and again and again. You can see all the previous classes. We actually just passed. Breaking news, Mission English has survived a year. We've had a year's worth of classes. We did the thing. Isn't that very exciting? We did a thing, a year's worth of Mission English, which is cool. 30 minutes. And the nice part is that in Mission English, you hear me say something, you hear other students say something, and you hear my feedback, and you can hear the adjustments that they make. And that's something that is extremely valuable because if it's a one-on-one class, you don't really hear yourself. You don't really know what it's like. But then when you can hear other people and the changes that they make, it's super, super helpful. In my opinion, it's more helpful than a one-on-one class, personally. It's also a little bit more engaging. So that's definitely something to check out. If you're interested in either of those things or video courses and things like that, including our free foundational course, 4-Step American Accent, we're going to show you the 4 fundamentals to sound natural in American English. We're going to show it to you for free. And these are things that no one else talks about for some reason, even though these are going to have the biggest impact on your pronunciation. That's my guarantee. Take a look at how to find all these things right here.
American.com for all of our pronunciation services, including memberships, including our daily Telegram program, where you send in files every day and get corrections from us. Mission English, where we meet twice a day in live stream classes, and also our paid video courses so you can start learning right away.
I see some things coming in too. Emmanuel says, just Jeff guy, he's so cool. He's very, yeah, that's what's up. Appreciate you, Emmanuel. And we passed our 1-year anniversary for Mission English. Yep, we did that. Edward says, congrats. Appreciate you guys. Look at this little testimonial from Emmanuel. After 1 year, I can truly say that this program has helped me a lot with my pronunciation. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Emmanuel. You're the man. Fist bump. All right, what we got? We got another pronunciation file, I think. See if anyone else has sent us a file. If you have not sent us a file, you're running out of time. You are running out of time to send me a file for today's stream. Running out of time. File has sent us a file. Grass is green on the other side. A lot of times when you hear that expression, you'll hear always, like the grass is always greener. Some people will just say that too. The grass is always greener. They won't even say the full phrase. All right. Let's see what we got here. This could be anything.
The grass is green on the other side.
Okay. Thank you for sending us your file. It's great to hear from you. Let's give some thoughts.
The grass is green on the other side.
Okay. Two things I think are going to be particularly helpful. Welcome, file. Yes. Come on in. Yes. Join us. Welcome. So I have two major things here that I think are going to be particularly helpful.
The grass is green on the other side.
Thought groups, like pitch level for your thought groups and stresses, because I think you're doing two things that are different than what you're going to expect from native speakers. So the first thing is a lot of times the stressed words for this expression, because this is an idiom, this is, a very common expression. A lot of times you're going to get the stress on greener and then side. It's like the grass is greener, or the grass is always greener on the other side. That's always greener on the other side. Grass is always greener on the other side. Now there's variations too, so you might hear people putting the stress on the ones that you did. Okay, but that's just the first thing I would recommend. And then the perhaps the bigger thing is adding more contrast, because right now you're kind of staying at the same pitch level roughly for both of these thought groups.
The grass is green on the other side.
So like the grass is greener, right? Let's use your stresses just for now, for the sake of simplicity. We're going to use your stresses. So the grass is greener. That's our first thought group. You want to kind of think about it like an elevator in an office building. That's the analogy I often use. So that first thought group, we're going to go down. We're going to go up to maybe the 8th floor. The grass is greener. I mean, the grass is greener. You stress greener, right?
The grass is green on the other.
The grass is greener.
This
Yeah.
side.
Maybe we are stressing greener.
The grass is green on the other side.
It's hard to tell. It sounds like you want to stress grass, and it sounds like you want to stress green. But whatever. For that thought group, that first one, maybe take a little higher. It's like the grass is greener. And then our next thought group, we're going to change floors. We're going to go down to the 4th floor. So everything needs to go lower on the other side. On the other side. You're stressing on the other side. Like the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is greener on the other side. Just adding a little bit more pitch contrast like that is going to make this immensely easier for your listener. I promise you.
The grass is green on the other side.
Okay. The other thing is, again, there are these moments where it's hard to identify what word you're stressing in some ways. It's almost like grass is greener. So make a choice. If you're stressing greener, it's probably going to sound like this. The grass is greener. The grass is greener. Do you hear that? Grass is greener. The grass is greener. The grass is greener. So go lower in pitch on the grass is greener. Or if you're stressing grass, then it's going to sound like the grass is greener. The grass is greener. So whichever stress pattern you choose, just make sure you're following the pitch pattern you want. And then for the second thought group, if you're stressing other, on the other side. On the other side. So notice that I'm going down, 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 down. Other side. Other side. On the other side. Or if you stress side, then it's going to sound like on the other side. On the other side. Do you hear it's like going down steps, right? Down, 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 up on the other side. So increasing some of those pitch ranges and things like that, and changing your pitch levels for each thought group is really going to help just add some more contrast to what you're saying.
The grass is green on the other side.
I would especially say for other, going lower pitch on the other. Oh, look who's here. It's like the prodigal son has just come home. Look at this guy. It's Mr. Elchid. It has been a while, sir. Let us know how things are going. Elchin, if you want to send a file, you have 1 minute. Guys, we have just finished for everybody. I'll give you 1 minute if you can send us a quick audio file. Okay, man? Good to see you. Everything around here is going okay. Wasn't expecting to see a familiar face like that. And it says it's been a minute. All right, guys. And Elchin, look at Elchin saying all the right things, saying it's great to be back. That's the wrong answer, Elchin. Where have you been, sir? We're mad at you. No, just kidding. Elchin, let me know if you're sending me a file. Do it fast. Do it fast. Give me an update on time. And I will stall. All right, he's going to send a file in a moment. So we have one more file coming up. And in case you just joined us for the first time, hi. How you doing? My name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath, which again is one of the 4 keys to American English accent. Okay. This channel, the Schwa Mill, is part of our Fluent American brand. This is our live show on Saturdays, where every single Saturday you send us pronunciation files and then we listen to them and give some feedback, give some suggestions on how to sound more natural in American English. We have some other resources too. We have our main channel, which goes into more kind of like specific sounds and things like that. On the main channel, we also have a show called Wake Up American, which is based on, again, New York time. And it's at 8 o'clock, typically 8 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday. And we just pick a specific sound. Usually it's a sound that's been taken from our Telegram group. And then we kind of just go over some tips and tricks to getting it sounding natural. Okay, so definitely check out that because I think you would enjoy it. Besides that, we also have our shadowing channel. If you're not sure what shadowing is, shadowing basically, like the simplest way to describe it is you listen to a native speaker and then you try to copy what they do. You hear them, you copy. You hear them, you copy. You hear them, you copy. If you want to take it to the next level, you can do what Emmanuel did in his file earlier today, where basically he listened and then he repeated, but he recorded the entire process so you can hear the original file and you can also hear himself. Whatever you do for pronunciation, the key thing is recording yourself. Because when you record yourself, one of the things you're going to notice is that you do not sound like you think you sound. It's just how it is. You know, when you talk, you have a lot of bones and things in your head, in your skull, that make the sound a little bit warmer, a little bit more pleasant to your ears. You're also just kind of used to hearing that sound. But that's not the sound that people hear, you know, when they listen to you. So this is why it's really important to listen to yourself, record yourself, and things like that. So that way you know what you actually sound like. And I know it's going to be painful at first because, let's be honest, most people don't like the sound of their voice. It takes time to get used to it. I get it. But the more you do it, I promise you, it's just like videos. The more you do it, the less you care. My first videos were horrible. You can still find them if you want to watch horrible pronunciation videos. I feel like the concepts were good. It's just the production not so great. Yeah, so check out all of our channels: Fluent American Shadowing, Schwa Mill. Elchin, that's my spiel. My spiel. Get some water. As we wait for Elchin, just a quick reminder as well.
Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing.
I'm feeling refreshed. I wonder what Elchin's going to send us. By the way, I will also, of course, remind you that if you're watching this in the future, or if you're watching this right now, but you're like, hey, this is not the time. Today is just not the day to send a file. I'm sick. I'm coughing up a storm. I don't feel good. My wife yelled at me. My kids don't talk to me. Whatever the reason is, then you can always use this later. Elchin is saying, "Oh, this is very sad. Very sad." Elchin is saying that Voker is not opening. Okay, Elchin, let's do this. So if today is not working out, that's okay. I'm going to give you the same thing that I've just told everybody: is later today. Let's just, because Elchin, I do have to run, my man. I'm sorry, but send us a file, and what we'll do is we'll take a look at it next time. Okay, so we'll save the file. You can send it to me on Telegram, or you can put it in the document later, and then we will take a look at it. We'll put it right at the top of the queue for the next stream, so we'll be able to get you some feedback. Appreciate your flexibility and understanding with that. I'm sorry it didn't work out today. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I have to be honest. I appreciate you. There are a million American English pronunciation resources out there, including from some very big names. So the fact that you spent a little bit of your time with me on a Saturday, it's Saturday in most corners of the world, excluding Asia. It's Saturday. And the fact that you spent some time with me is greatly, greatly appreciated. Continue checking out our other resources. If you want to work with me directly, we can get you some pronunciation feedback. Again, our Telegram group, Mission English group, and of course through our one-on-one classes. I will see you guys later. Once more, my name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. We'll be around later. Catch us on Wake Up American Monday morning, and I will see you guys later. Elchin, good to see you. We hope to see you in future streams as well. Again, man, good to see you. All right, you guys, I'll take care. Have a good day. Have a good night. Good afternoon.